Hey, everybody. Hello, hello. Y'all,
Let me adjust this just a little.
y'all let us know if you can hear us okay. I hope everybody's doing good.
It's like there's already been a conversation going on here.
Yeah, we read through some of the messages before we cut it on here. Y'all let us know if you can hear us okay. We're on this old laptop computer, so it's always questionable. Can hear you great. Good.
Good.
That's what I want to hear.
Yep. Everybody's saying they hear it.
Good. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It was kind of rainy and dreary here today, most of the day. It's been busy, y'all. We didn't get to do any filming much this weekend. As most of y'all know, it's hog killing time, y'all. So this is one of our most it's as busy as middle of the summer, wouldn't you say?
I think it's busier.
It's not busier, yeah.
Mainly because of the short days, though.
Yeah, the short days don't help, but I don't know. I kind of like the short days because you get to come in and relax for a while before you go to bed.
Get a little bit of time before you go to bed.
Yeah. But yeah, been what way we do our pigs. It's a big family and neighbor effort, and so it's not just mine and Andy's pigs that we're doing. We're doing
neighbors
and yeah, so it's a lot of pigs to get done, and we usually try to get done by the first of the year, but it's a lot of work, y'all.
Look right here, 4 foot of snow in the last week in Ontario, Canada.
Wow!
Could you imagine 4 foot of snow?
I don't think I've ever seen 4 foot of snow
in
my life.
That would shut us down forever.
Yep.
Shoot, here it can snow an inch and people just freak out.
Well, that dusting the other day.
Yeah, people were freaking out over that little bit of a dusting we had.
Yeah, which did make the road slick, but it was just enough to make the road slick when we took them cows the other day. And that did good. The hanging weights of those cows, we were actually pretty impressed with what that. Do you remember what they were?
One, the smallest was 411 pounds. The middle one was 400 and I want to say 37, or 57. And then the biggest one was 487, I think.
Yeah. So they did good. We were actually they were a little bigger than what we were anticipating, so we were very pleased with that. Which we won't go pick that up for next week probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it'll be sometime. Yeah, next week.
Yeah. How many hogs in total? So
between everybody,
this is us, our in-laws and outlaws, neighbors. We've got.
It was 29.
We started out, we had 29 to do all together,
which is less than years past.
Yeah. Still plenty though.
Yeah. Yeah. One of our members, he didn't have any this year, so
right, he down with his health, so it's sad because mostly it's old timers, and luckily us and Andy's sister and our kids, we're gonna try our best to keep it going, but it's
we couldn't do near as many pigs as we do without all of them.
I know.
That's for sure.
I know.
Big cows, love y'all.
Do you have a video on how you process your cow milk? So I don't process the milk from the cow. We drink it straight from the cow, and hadn't had any issues or anything with that, if that's what you mean. I know some people go ahead and pasteurize their home dairy, and actually I'm not milking Candy right now, but I am getting my milk from a good friend of mine. But yeah, I don't process it. There are times, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that I bring it in, I strain it, and I drink me a big old glass, and that is when it is the best. That one is the best.
I was gonna say there's several videos though of you straining it and doing all that.
Yeah, all I do is I run it through. It's a coffee filter, a reusable coffee filter to strain out any little particles or anything. But other than that, that's all I do. Can I make decent lard from store-bought pork fat? I would think so. I would think it would be just fine. Wouldn't you think so?
I guess. I've never done it, but I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah, work. I think that would render down and be just fine, and it would still be better. You know, your store-bought lard that you buy in the tubs, it's hydrogenated, so they add stuff in there to preserve it and whatever it's for. And I know it's partly to preserve it. And even if you render down that pork fat from the grocery store, that's not going to have those additives and things in it because, you know, it's still just straight pork fat that you're cooking down. So, yeah, I'd say go for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I've been doing today. It's the story of my life this time of year. Making lard. Our house reeks of lard.
And working up pork.
Yeah, our house reeks of lard between now and the end of the year.
What curriculum do you use for homeschooling?
I use master books for language arts and math. I did The Good and the Beautiful last year. That was nice. I liked it, but I started with master books when I first started homeschooling, and I wanted to try something different. Went to The Good and the Beautiful and went back to master books. And I really enjoy their curriculum. It's Bible based, so there's a lot. We learn a lot Bible verses. There's a lot of stuff in there about manners and things like that, but they're very short lessons, but yet the kids still grasp the concepts. And my kids just seem to do better with those really short lessons, and Mama seems to do better with the really short lessons. It just keeps their attention because they're young, you know, and when the sun's shining outside and it's beautiful, that's where they want to be. They don't want to be working on school.
Well, thank both of y'all for these super chats that's come in so far.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank y'all. South Carolina loves you. You're working so hard. God bless. T-Paul. Thank you, T-Paul. Thank you so much. I appreciate that more than y'all know. Y'all bless my heart. But yeah, that's another thing that keeps us busy is homeschooling because our day truly don't start till like after lunch with work anyway.
We were just looking, and how long did you say it had been since we've been live? 4 months?
4 months. I did not realize it had been that long.
It doesn't feel like it, honestly.
It was when Hurricane Debbie come through. That's when we went live.
Yeah, that's right.
Meagan, I made your chow chow and have gotten so many compliments on it. It's delicious. Thank you. I'm so glad. I love that chow chow. I got to talk Mr. Lawson here into trying it.
What, the chow chow?
The chow chow.
Maybe one day.
Y'all tell it's delicious. I could just eat it by spoonfuls.
Somebody asked me how do I do landscaping during the winter months. We stay fairly busy during the winter months as long as we have nice weather, really. I mean, we're still working right now, getting up leaves, and we've got pine needles to put out. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on, but you just don't get to work near as many days this time of year as you would during the summer.
How did hunting go? We have not had
it
a chance
ain't win
to go.
At all.
Yeah, we ain't. We did get around to putting up some deer cameras, so we did make it that far. But as far as actually going, we just hadn't had a chance yet, which here deer season lasts till the first of the year. So we still got
maybe we'll get to go before
a few more weeks. Yeah. Any tips on gardening in pots? My collards are growing slow.
No,
that's you, dear.
Well, it depends on the temperatures too. They will grow slow this time of year. Ours are growing slow in the garden.
I'm gonna tell y'all too, that beautiful salad patch out there, I believe it got. Like
I think it's done.
And
it ain't done, but there may be something.
Yeah.
And y'all, we had pea pods this long that were so pretty, and we've had this whole week of colder than normal temperatures.
It was like
for December and
15 at night or something like that.
While they don't look dead, they don't look
dead.
good.
They're pretty dead.
I think that
the tops of them are dead.
Yeah, I don't believe we're gonna get peas.
Yeah,
but we were so close.
Yeah, the pea pods hadn't filled out any peas yet. They just had the pods on them, but we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
If we'd have planted them 2 weeks earlier, we would have.
Like we said before, when we do fall garden, it's either hit or miss. Sometimes we have these cold spells like what we've had, and which is kind of funny because up until this cold spell, we've had warmer than normal temperatures, so everything was just doing great. But yeah, the cold spell wiped a lot of it out.
Try chow chow on a hot dog. Love you guys. That's how my mother-in-law likes to eat the chow chow. She eats it. Well, Andy's mama, she eats it on hot dogs. I got your recipe books for my daughters and myself. Got my jars out. Really hoping a good garden this year. What month do you harvest your garlic? This is my first year growing my own.
For us, it's usually what?
June-ish. Yeah, it's usually around June. So it'll stay in the ground all winter and part of all spring too.
You can start to tell when it gets ready to pull though.
Yeah.
The tips of the leaves will start to
die like where
back.
It comes out of the ground. Those pretty green leaves will start to turn brown. Yeah. And it's hit or miss with the garlic too. Some years we've done great. And then like this past year, it was just okay.
Well, our garlic right now is looking really good.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll stay that way.
Yeah.
I mean, the cold weather hadn't
phased it at all.
We had that, whatever that thing was, that fly.
Yeah, the allium fly.
Yeah. I'm going to cut that heater off. I'm getting hot.
Are you?
Yeah.
My goodness, the questions is coming in fast.
You got it cranking in here. It's 79.
Megan, when are you going to host a chicken harvesting class?
When I get brave enough to do it.
She's wanted to forever, y'all.
Yeah, and I didn't do any. We usually do meat birds in the fall, and I had contemplated doing a class in the fall, and something just told me, not to get any meat birds this fall. We didn't do any turkeys either, and I didn't know all that was going to happen with Daddy like it did, and I was thankful that I didn't have them this fall. But we will be back at it in the spring, and if I can figure out something, because I would love to do a class. Like, I love to teach, and that's something I feel like I've done so much, y'all. I could process chickens with my eyes closed. I really feel like I could.
Yeah. You've done it a lot, and you've done it a lot by yourself.
Yeah. So that's a goal of mine that I would eventually like to do. It would have to be a very, very small class, with the amount of people, because, well, number one, there's no parking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's something that I have thought about, and if I do decide to do something like that, y'all will be the first ones to know.
Someone asked, do you have to keep covering your straw? I mean, covering your garlic with straw. And I say, as long as you got a good layer around that garlic, we don't never add any more to ours once we put down the first initial layer. And then somebody also asked, do you water your garlic? And usually we let Mother Nature do the water in our garlic for us, because it doesn't seem to really take a lot. And this time of year, the ground don't really dry out near as fast. But for a while there, right after we planted it, we had somewhat of a drought. And so we did have to end up watering our garlic then, but now it's Mother Nature's taking care of it for us. We hadn't had to water it anymore.
Do you have sandy, pebbly soil on the paddock you cross the creek to get to? It looks fairly pebbly where the pigs live, and I wondered if it continued down. Rocky is very rocky.
Yeah, it is rocky over there.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, definitely, especially over there on the side of that mountain where the pigs are. The rocks, just huge rocks on the side of that mountain. And yeah, it goes all the way down to the creek.
But then once you cross the creek and get into our creek garden, there's not a rock one in that creek garden.
Yep.
Not at all.
And now this garden out here at the house where our salad patch and all is,
it's full of rocks.
It grows rocks.
Yeah. I bet you we've picked 3 or 4 dump truck loads of rocks out of that garden. And it's like we've never done anything.
It just grows more.
Oh.
How many hogs did you slaughter?
So far, we've done.
Now this is between everybody.
Yeah, between everybody.
Yeah, not just us. We've only done 2 of ours so far.
We done 4 one Friday, and then we done
3.
I mean, I'm sorry, we done 4 on a Saturday.
Then we done 3.
And then we done 3 on a Friday after that, and then we done
4.
4 on the Saturday after that. Yeah. So 8, 9, 10, 11. We've done 11 so far.
It literally goes on, y'all, way before the sun comes up to way after the sun goes down, but we get it done.
At what weight do you process your hogs? So they average, I mean, honestly, they just get however big they get from the time we get them to the time we butcher them. But so we've done our smallest one so far.
We didn't weigh it.
And according to the ham.
Did you get?
I did weigh the ham
off that one. That's right.
And according to the ham weighed 37 pounds. So typically with a hog, if your ham weighs 37 pounds, then the hog weighed 370 pounds. And then our biggest hog, we've done it so far, and the ham weighed, was it 47 pounds, 46 pounds, something like that?
47, I think, yeah.
So that means that hog weighed 470 pounds. And that hog was, right? Yeah, that's dressed weight. And that hog was a whole lot bigger than the first one we killed. So, we had that big of variation between all of our pigs, and they were all bought at the same time and been fed the same way. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that they came out of 2 different litters or 3 different litters or something like that. But yeah,
we usually grow them a little bigger than some of the homesteaders that you see, I know, on YouTube and stuff. But that's the way we've always. Man, you got big hogs, you get big pork chops.
Well, you get big cuts of meat when you have big pigs. We're not in it to make money on it. We're in it to have meat. So, I know a lot of people, once they get up to like 250 pounds, they say at that point they don't grow enough for what they eat. And I'll tell you, once they get probably about 250 pounds, man, a hog can flat put down some food.
They've been eating 250-pound sacks a day.
Yeah, between all 6 hogs, when we still had all 6, they were eating 250-pound bags a day.
Yeah,
and our hogs have free choice to food, like all the time. They can eat however much they want to eat. We don't ration or anything. We just let them eat what they're going to eat.
Yep. And thank y'all. I've been trying to read through the comments. I want to say thank you to everybody, all the kind words and everything. Thank y'all so much.
Megan, are you still making candy mats?
I have not made any in a while.
Since last Christmas.
I know. I don't know if I'll get around to making some. I know I won't before Christmas. But if I do have a chance to make some extras, I will be sure to post them on YouTube and on the Facebook page. But I definitely know I won't have time to make any before Christmas.
Somebody wanted me to give their husband a wave. Let me get into the camera
there. But I really enjoy sewing and stuff. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Since all this has happened, well, I've had to get my mind back straight. That's the best way I know how to put it. So, I hadn't really got around to making any this go round. But like I said, if I do, it'll probably be January and February in the slower months, and I'll be sure to post them if I have any.
Somebody said congratulations on 70,000 subscribers. I didn't know it. Did we hit 70,000?
I think we did, maybe today.
Did we? I didn't even know
it. Thank y'all.
To be honest with you, I didn't even realize we were close. I'm sorry, I don't keep up with a whole lot of that, but I didn't even realize we were that far along.
Do you do any Christmas baking?
70.2.
So I don't know if you call it Christmas baking, but I do a lot of cooking for hog killing. Last weekend I made a whole bunch of ham and tenderloin biscuits and a bunch of peanut butter delights. Made a bunch of homemade cookies. So I do that stuff because we kind of all feed each other, and all the women take a bunch of food and stuff. So I guess that's kind of my holiday baking.
Well, we don't. You cook a lot all the time, anyways.
Yeah, I cook extra though.
I feel like you live in that kitchen.
I do. I like my kitchen though.
Where's the kiddo? The kiddos are actually already in the bed. Yeah. They go to bed about 8:30. So, Maggie, she's probably actually already asleep.
Probably knowing Maggie, yeah.
Say hey from Brooklyn. Wow.
Do you guys do a big Christmas celebration? We just go around to our families. Like we'll go to my mama's, we'll go to his mama's, and then we'll go to his grandma's, and that's usually our little Christmas get-togethers. Go around and eat with everybody.
Yep. Several's asking her, "Do we have our tree up yet?" Yeah, it's actually behind y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It's behind the computer.
And show them?
Sure. I mean, I guess you can.
Let me see if I can show y'all. Y'all, we don't.
It's a real cedar tree.
It's a cedar tree that we went and cut off a fence line. See there? Yeah, you can see it good. It looks pretty.
Yeah. So we actually cut it from a neighbor's fence. He's got a bunch of cedars growing on in his pasture, and we cut it from his fence or from his pasture. That's something that we started doing a few years ago. Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, we always went and cut a real tree. Now, sometimes they ain't the prettiest of trees, but it's just a tradition I had when we was growing up. So we kind of decided that we were going to try to continue that on.
And it's fun. And it's fun for the kids, too, because we were riding around, and then we got out and we walked around. We had to find the perfect tree that we thought would look good in our living room. And, that's a lot of fun. And, of course, our neighbor was like, yeah, go, go find you one.
The fun part is eyeing them out. Like, you eye out Christmas trees all year long.
Right. So that's going to be a good one.
I've had my eye on several of the trees that's in his pasture since springtime. But, once you actually get up close to them, you realize, well, this one might not look as good as this one. And so you go through and pick out of several, but it's still something fun to do.
Somebody's asked a couple times, how did we meet? So we've known each other our whole lives pretty much.
We've known of
each other. Yeah. And so like his mama was my teacher, and she was your teacher too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And
in elementary school.
Yeah. And, I don't know. Our paths crossed. I was 18 and you were what, 21?
Yeah, I think that's right.
There was a band playing up at this little place up the road, and me and one of my friends went there, and Andy and his friends were there, and we got to talking, and he asked me to come rake hay with him. And here we are. The rest is history. Yeah.
You got the right one when she agrees to come ride the tractor and rake hay with you.
You didn't have time to take me on a date, but because you had to rake hay, so I come and raked hay with you.
It ain't much change since it.
No, it hadn't. But like, his family and my family, like they all knew each other. It just small town living, ain't it?
Yep, that's it. Andy, I mean, y'all, there's so many questions coming in. I know we're missing a ton of questions. I'm sorry for the ones we're missing. And if you've got something you really want to know, just keep asking it, and we'll eventually see
it. Or put in capital letters.
Or if you put that in that's a good idea.
Do you have siblings who farm too, Andy?
Yeah, my daddy.
Yeah,
daddy farms a lot. Sibling with sister.
That's your sister.
Yeah, that's duh.
Yeah, she's got the milk goats. She was in one of the videos when we were talking about milk goats versus milk cows. That's Andy's sister. So they got a little homestead too. They raise rabbits. They raise a lot of rabbits. They got the goats and a bunch of chickens.
They grow garden and all that stuff. I don't know if you necessarily call it farming. They're more or less like
homesteaders.
Like a homestead. Yeah. What do I ask for when shopping for a country ham? I want one, not an injected one. I don't know. Because I don't even know of a place you can buy a country ham from like a legit country ham place that's not injected.
Right.
So that would definitely be my first question for anybody who has country ham would be, how do you cure it? And if it's got cured in 30 days or less, it's got to be injected.
Point. Right.
Because a real country ham is going to take at least 6 to 8 months to cure.
But it is because of the legalities and stuff, they are hard to find.
They're hard to find because you can't, I don't know, there's all kinds of laws, and it depends on what state you're in to where you can or can't sell a country ham.
North Kakalakie's got some hard laws.
There's some fine-tuned laws on cured meat too, though. Like, I don't know, it gets kind of shady in cured meat.
You guys are the best. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all are so sweet.
You have to breed the cow. So the cows are bred right now, and they should be dropping calves anytime from what you say towards the end of December till February.
Yeah, till the end of February, something like that. And they're definitely, I'm pretty sure they're all bred because none of them have showed signs of being in heat. And Bill and Candy are looking real pot belly.
They are. They are.
They're getting very round. So Black Star, I think she's definitely bred too, even though she's a beef cow though, so she doesn't show it as much as those Jerseys. But when she's in heat, she moves and moves and moves and doesn't stop, and she hasn't done that. So I'm pretty sure she's bred too. If y'all remember back, we had the bull here back in early summer, late spring. We borrowed one of Daddy's bulls, and then that was when he jumped over the gate and tore our gate off the side of the barn. And
there's been two other questions that come in that I'll try to answer. The first one I'll answer real quick. How close were we to any of the flood? So all the flood damage, the closest flood damage to us was about 2 hours away, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. The way the crow
we're
flies is not
farther,
that far, but yeah.
We're farther east.
Yeah.
Even though we're somewhat in the mountains of North Carolina, like we're in the eastern part of the mountains.
We're in the most eastern part of Appalachia. When you look at an Appalachian map of North Carolina, we are on the
right on the edge.
Yeah, on the eastern side.
And then somebody else asked, how did we decide what to raise? And I'm going to assume you mean by animals, since we were talking about animals. But we started out with goats, and we thought we wanted goats, and we found out.
Tell them the reason you wanted goats, though.
Well, we started out with pet goats because the goat back here behind the house where the barn and all that stuff used to be covered in kudzu. Well, when I was young, I mean, my grandpa was still living here. I got some goats for free from a guy, and I fenced all this in just so they could eat up the kudzu.
Hey, Perry Hill Farms.
And that was the start of our goats.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have any video footage or anything of the first goats.
And they were just goats, y'all. Like, they didn't even need to be took care of. We fed them some feed and made sure they had water, and like...
They were some tough goats.
Yeah, they were some good goats. I wish we didn't ever go.
They really, and they were pretty too. I think they were mostly like pygmy goat crossed with other stuff. I don't know what they were.
They were just goats.
But anyways, at one time we had up to 16 of those, and they cleared and done everything I wanted to do. And then at that point, they were just pets. We kept them for a long time, and then we were like, if we're going to have these goats, they need to do us some good. So we decided we were going to start raising meat goats. So we got some boar cross.
They were boar Nubians.
And we had those for like a year or two?
A year or two, yeah.
And we decided we didn't like those because those goats were a lot more delicate than the goats that we had before. They required something all the time.
A lot of upkeep.
And so
they weren't the best mamas. Like, that's why we have Lovey, because we had one that we gave her 2 chances to take her babies.
And she never did. So the deal was, Meagan had decided, she had been thinking about it, and she was like, I want a milk cow. And, growing up, both of us her daddy had cows, my daddy had cows. So we were familiar with cows, but we never remembered having a milk cow.
Right.
So that was the deal. We got rid of the goats to get the milk cow. And
we said we would beef the, if we had boys or whatever, as for calves, we would use those as our beef instead of buying beef because we used to split a cow with your daddy when we would get our beef, remember? Yeah. And so we said that would be our beef. Well, then to continue the story on, Meagan goes on Craigslist and finds this milk cow that's dirt cheap.
Is that Candy you're talking about?
No.
Oh, no, the Belle.
Dirt cheap. I'm talking about you get what you pay for.
Yeah, but Belle's a good cow.
She is a good cow now. I put a lot of work into that cow. She was not tame.
We bought 2. We had Belle and we had
Fancy.
Fancy came with a calf. No, her calf was already born, right?
Right.
Fancy came with a calf. And so, y'all, this is a crazy story. I've always heard stories about something like this happening, but we had a terrible thunderstorm one night. And Fancy, I'm pretty sure, was an older cow.
Yeah,
she looked like she was an older cow, but she was still.
The boy didn't know.
Yeah, the boy didn't know where he's getting them from. He just knew he was selling us a cow. But anyways, Lord, we've gotten long-winded on this one. But we had a terrible thunderstorm one night, and y'all, I heard a boom of thunder and lightning, and just the way, I was like, I believe that hit something. So we kind of thought it run in on the fence box. Well, I went and checked the electric fence. Everything looked good. And then keep in mind it's dark outside, so I couldn't see anything. The next morning when I went outside to go to work, I seen something in the pasture that just didn't look right. And I walked down there and it was Fancy laying there. So I walked up to her, I started hollering, thinking she was going to get up. She never got up. Well, lightning had struck the cow. And I mean, I'm sure it probably killed her instantly.
Oh, yeah, there was no sign of struggle.
No, no. I mean, but I had never in my life seen anything like that. And
no,
she had no signs of anything except on her legs.
It was like a line.
Yeah, it was like a burn line.
Yeah.
And that was how we knew lightning struck her. And that was the craziest thing ever. And luckily, I mean, we wasn't really attached to that cow. But
no, she's the one that threw me up.
Yeah, she was.
She threw me up in the air.
She was a good mama.
Yeah.
But she was not friendly at all.
She got her head under my butt one time and threw me up in the air. And I come back down, landed on her head. She threw me up again. And I grabbed onto the gate when I come down that time and jumped out. She was very protective.
Have you ever sugar cured a ham? If yes, how did you do it? Keep your eye out on that one. There might be a video coming on it.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say.
You can do it though. It sounds intimidating, but you can do it.
That's how we cure our hams, is sugar cure.
Yes.
How old is Tiger? Tiger's actually laying over here asleep right beside of me. Tiger is what?
She was 2. Let's see. We've had her for 2 years in September, so she's probably 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best dog we ever had.
She is, for sure.
Yep.
I've never had a dog as smart as she is. Let's see. I'm gonna have to scroll back up on some of these.
Okay. But my horses, I've always had my horses, so that's how we got into them. And then chickens, of course, for the eggs. And actually, Andy was watching a YouTube video years ago about those meat chickens. And that's when we decided to try meat chickens. And our county here actually has a poultry processing unit that you can rent. It's on a trailer. And so we were like, well, we'll try it. And we've been raising our chicken ever since.
Yeah. I didn't realize you could grow meat chickens out on pasture until I saw a YouTube video about it.
Maybe I was watching Joel Salatin or something. I can't
remember.
It
was a Stony Ridge Farmer
video. It Stony Ridge Farmer? Yeah. I couldn't remember who it was.
And that was, gosh, probably back in 2018 or something like that. And we decided to do it ourselves. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm glad we did. What animal have you raised? What is an animal you would like to raise that you haven't yet?
That's a good question.
I think I've always contemplated rabbits, but I've never really worried much about them because my sister and her husband have them. But if my sister and her husband didn't have rabbits, I think I would like to try it. And I think I'd want to raise rabbits more or less to get their manure
for the garden,
than I would for the meat.
For the garden, yeah.
But
yeah, because theirs don't have to be composted, right?
Nope.
You can put it straight on there.
That's what they say. You can put it straight on on the garden.
And plus the rabbit meat is good.
It is.
It's very good.
But at the moment right now, I don't think there is another animal that we want to raise.
I'd like some more cows.
Well, I would like some more land to put some more cows on. Honestly, right now, with what we've got, we're kind of like maxed out.
Yeah.
Like in reality, we have too many animals.
Yeah.
Or at least we have too many grass-eating animals on what land we've got to work with.
He's counting down the horse's days.
Oh,
I'm just picking.
Ducks. Now, I've always thought it would be fun to raise a duck.
I wish I could keep them on my creek down there. Like, I always thought that would be cool, but I know something would get them.
Yeah,
like,
I would love to have a big pond or a lake or something and be able to raise ducks on it, but I just don't. I don't know. I'm scared something would get the ducks.
How is the potato storage working out for y'all? I went and got me a load of potatoes a couple days ago after all those 15-degree mornings. and I did not find any that felt like they had froze.
You didn't?
No, I dug down through, well, at least the top layer anyway. I dug down through, and so far, so good. I pulled me out. It was a little over a half 5-gallon bucket I got out of there,
Oh, cool.
and every one of them looked good.
Good.
Yep. Now they were cold, like they had been in the refrigerator, but they all looked really good. Like I'm loving that box so far.
I've done seen this question come across a couple of times. What's the best slice of tomato to grow? What is your favorite tomato?
I really like Better Boys.
We figured that out this year. How much you like the Better Boys?
Well, see, we used to plant them because I liked them, and then we kind of
started
trying other stuff.
They got bad about the blossom.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's why we quit.
That's right. Them.
I really like Better Boys, and what was that one? The red snappers from Hoss. Those are very good.
Yep.
And them red snappers they're huge. They're the kind of tomatoes that take up your whole piece of bread. But those are probably my two favorites. I know a lot of people like the yellow tomatoes, the different ones, and we've tried different varieties. I guess personal preference. I like the acid in the red tomatoes. I hadn't found a yellow one yet that I'm like, oh, this is the one. But
right.
Those two, Red Snapper and Better Boys, are probably
then you like those
two favorites.
What was those purple ones we raised at one time?
The Black Crim. That's right. Crim. Those are really good too. But now those, we had a really hard time with those, with the blight, and
they were
very sensitive. Like we had a very hard time growing them.
I've seen another one come through if we've ever raised turkeys, and we have. We just didn't raise any this year.
This is the first year and probably the last 4 Thanksgivings that we actually hadn't raised our own Thanksgiving turkey. Yeah. I love turkeys, y'all. I wish I could just keep a bunch as pets. They're so much cooler than chickens.
They follow you around like a dog.
They have so much personality, whereas chickens are just chickens, But turkeys have so much personality, and they're the coolest animals.
What are some of your favorite YouTube channels? Huh. Well,
I don't watch a lot of YouTube.
Meagan don't really watch much YouTube at all. I like watching.
I don't watch much TV, but I like the hollers. I do like the holler Homestead.
We like watching those. I watch
Hoss. Watch their
we watch all the Hosses. I like watching Pecan Grove. I seen that they're in here.
Yeah.
Danny and Wanda. I like watching theirs. I like watching Outdoors with the Morgans. And of course, me being a lawn care guy, I have some lawn care YouTube channels I like watching too.
He mows grass all day and comes home and watch people mow grass. I always pick at him. Then we watch Perry Hill. We watch
Perry Hill. I think especially lately, we've watched just about every video Perry Hill's put out.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of work there on their place.
I'm trying to think of who else we watch, because it's like we don't get a lot of time to actually sit down and watch.
Oh, my favorite one is Peter Santinello.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about him.
He's my favorite. Like, we don't miss a video.
Well, we're kind of behind right now. I think he's got 2 videos out that we ain't had time to watch.
But yeah, if y'all have never heard of him, be sure to check out his.
He goes around and interviews a lot of people and shows the real side.
It's nothing to do with homesteading or farming or nothing like that, but it's just real life views from all over the United States, and it's very eye opening.
Peter Santinello is his name.
Yep.
Now he's a huge YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh, and Breaking New Roots. They've got them. They've got them a new place, not too far from us actually, and they're showing now on their channel, instead of the interviews like they were doing, now they've moved to where they're building their homestead at their new place,
and they do really good with them videos, y'all.
Yeah.
Even like some of the stuff now. If y'all are watching, don't take this the wrong way, but like some of the stuff, maybe I ain't quite interested in the topic, but they do so good with the video. I watch the whole thing through because they keep you interested in it. And, they do really good with that. I have a feeling that they're probably going to continue to grow and grow and grow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Miss Sharon, thank you for posting all those links on there. Thank you.
Oh, me. Man,
Oh, and the what's her name?
Who?
Celebrating Appalachia. We watch her some too.
Oh yeah. See, I can't remember them all.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. They're just coming to me. They're just. There's a lot of good YouTubers out there though, and you can tell. I mean, people can tell the real ones from the
I think it's pretty easy.
The fake ones. So
yeah, I think it's really easy. I mean, I'm not gonna call out none of
well,
them.
no, I didn't mean that.
I can watch one and I can be like, yeah, you know, they're. It's amazing how many people who are, I guess you could say, I don't even know how to put this, professional YouTubers who just do the content for the YouTube channel.
Right.
And, you know, I think it's real easy to tell.
Ozark Family Homestead.
I never heard of them.
I ain't heard of them.
More Than Farmers. I think I've heard of that channel once or twice. Are the guineas in the coop with the chickens, or do
yes, they stay with the chickens.
They've stayed in. So y'all, I know. I don't think we've really talked much about it since we've done that coop. But without the top on it, we had the chickens hop out the first day.
Mm-hmm. We had one chicken hop out and one guinea,
and it was like that chicken sort of freaked out and it was trying its best to get back in. And once it got back in, luckily we have not had a problem since. Nope. They have not hopped out.
And those guineas, like, I know a lot of people were concerned with hawks and stuff, but I'm gonna tell y'all, the hawks could have got to them a lot easier out in the pasture than they could where they are now. But them guineas, y'all, they don't play with birds. I don't care if it's a buzzard, if it's a crow, if there is one around. Those guineas make the awfulest noise. And the chickens, it's like the chickens understand them and the chickens go under the house.
Yeah, it's fun to watch that when that does happen.
I would love to get that on video one day because it really does happen. And those guineas, you read a lot of stuff about guineas and chickens that they don't get along and all this. And the guineas are kind of bullies to the chickens a little bit, but the chickens take up for themselves. But those guineas were raised with chickens. Like, since they were witties, they've always been with chickens. And they do a fabulous job being watchdogs for them chickens.
And it's funny, like, if those guineas ever, well, when they were in the net, and sometimes the guineas would fly out, and those guineas will run themselves to death
to get back
running around the net trying to get back in. But the funny thing is, they fly out, but they ain't got enough sense to fly in.
They're interesting.
I ain't never figured that out.
Interesting creatures.
But our smart little dog here, if you tell her to go get that chicken or go get that guinea, she will chase it down and put her two paws up on the dog. She'll put her two paws up on the guinea or the chicken and hold it down, and then she'll take her mouth and hold down on top of it.
She's never.
And she will hold it there until you come and catch that guinea from her.
Because I thought the first couple times I thought she was trying to kill it, but she ain't never killed one.
That's something I wish we could have on a video too. But I mean, it's just never happened at a time when we were trying to film anything. But it is amazing what she will do.
Yeah, she's never ever offered to kill one, even when she was a puppy. And the sad thing is, she was a stray that I'm pretty sure somebody set out.
Do y'all do any hunting videos? I've actually seen that question come across a lot. We haven't so far.
Never done it before. No. We did some deer meat videos last year, but like I said, we hadn't had a chance to go hunting yet this year. I'm really wanting to go down there at the creek garden. We set a deer camera down there too. My deer stand is actually up where our potato patch is, down in that holler down in there, and that's where I usually hunt at, not down here at the creek garden. We all every day. How many you think's down there every day?
I'm pretty sure we have a picture of at least 20 in that garden at one time.
Yeah.
Because right now I've got the fence down. That's planted in my clover cover crop. And right now the clover cover crop is about that tall because the deer have keep it eat down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're keeping it mowed. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for all the content. Thank you so much. Y'all bless my heart. Thank you. But I love to deer hunt. Me and Andy both been deer hunting since we were kids. But
it's just something I don't know. It's like we said before.
You just gotta make time to go.
Yeah, and it's so busy this time of year. You're just like, well, I'll go later, and then before you know it, deer season's over with, and then you hadn't ever had a chance to go.
Do you have a favorite recipe for deer? Canned deer meat.
I think that's
my favorite way to eat it. Now,
you can take a slice of tenderloin and fry it.
Yeah, I do like to fry it.
Roll it in flour.
I like it fresh though. After it's frozen, it's just okay. I like it fresh like that. But canned deer meat is my favorite way to have deer. And deer jerky. I like deer jerky too.
What breed of cow would you recommend for the first time owners for meat?
For meat?
Yeah. I don't know that I would recommend any special breed at all. Because if you're going to raise it for meat, like these steers that we had out here, those were sale barn steers.
Yeah.
That we bought cheap.
Cheap.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And I mean, in my opinion, those dairy cows make just, if not
they just
better,
grow slower.
Better beef than a beef cow does.
They do grow slower.
They do grow slower. But then you could go with a Black Angus, which is really common. And Hereford, I think Hereford makes some really good beef. Except sometimes
as far as temperament goes,
that can vary between cows.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I've had some really friendly Black Angus, and I've seen some Black Angus that were the devil.
Ones. Yeah, some crazy ones.
It's just all going to depend on the cow, really. But
as far as for beef, your actual beef breeds will grow the fastest, of course. But if you want to you could probably get you a Jersey cross. For probably cheaper than a full-blooded Black Angus.
That's what I was looking at, was the fact that you can buy some of these dairy steers. Or
that Jersey beef, y'all, it is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good.
But like I said, they're just not going to grow out near as fast. Now, if you're looking for something that's going to grow fast, I would go with a Black Angus. But I don't.
Yeah, that's about.
As far as temperament goes, I don't really think you could recommend one breed to the other, because that can vary from cow to cow.
Mm-hmm.
Jersey is good beef. Yes, it's very good beef.
Ground or cubed venison cubed. I like to cube up the shoulders and the hams and can them that way. And then I like to fix them. There's a video floating around. I think it's from last year maybe, but I like to open up a jar of deer meat and then just sprinkle some flour on it and mix it all in there, and then it'll get all thick, and then you put just a little bit of milk in there and make it like a gravy, and then eat it with some biscuits. Oh, man. You can't beat it, can you?
Somebody asked what's my favorite meal that Meagan cooks. Every one of them.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie, y'all. There's not. So when we first got married, there might have been a bad meal or two. But
I didn't know it, though. He never told me.
No, I never told you.
No, he never told me.
But,
I knew, though.
But y'all.
I had to eat it, too.
No joke, though. Literally everything that comes off of that stove is good. I can't point out one meal over the other.
Well, thank you.
And I seen Pecan Grove, they recommended Dexter's, and I didn't even think about Dexter's. I know absolutely nothing about Dexter's. As far as I know, nobody around us has Dexter's. But yeah, I've always heard that they were a good cow to have on a small homestead. I don't know anything about a Dexter.
Yeah, most people around here have the Black Angus cow. That's what most.
Yeah, Black Angus is very common around here, and you see a lot of Herefords around here too, especially a lot of the old timer farmers that's around here. A lot of them grow Herefords.
Meagan needs to make a new cookbook. I know.
Yes, she does.
I am slowly working on it. I've gotten a lead on a publisher that I need to get in touch with to see what we need to do to go further. So it's still probably going to be a while, y'all.
Yeah. The pepper that grew so big this year was a Mad Hatter pepper.
The plant that was so big.
That plant was massive.
Yeah.
You only need one. If you plant some, only plant one of them.
We love watching you. We learned a lot. Thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you.
Now, they're a little bit slow to mature, but let me tell you, once they start, you will have more peppers than you know what to do with.
Yes.
Off of one plant.
And they're sweet. They're not hot. They're a sweet pepper, and I just use them in place of bell peppers. Like a lot of recipes call for bell peppers. I just use them in place of those. And they're good. They're just as good as a bell pepper.
Yep. So maybe the Dexters might be the best thing for you if you're looking for a first time cow. That's just like I said, that's something I have no first hand experience with is a Dexter. But they are some cute looking cows. I mean, the ones I've seen on YouTube with Danny and Wanda, and then up at Just a Few Acres Farm. That's another channel we watch.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
It's Just a Few Acres Farm.
Jacob loves him.
Yeah, we met him one time.
Yeah, we did.
And I mean, their Dexters just look like regular beef cows. So, but I don't think I've ever seen a Dexter in person.
I don't think I have either.
I'm assuming that they're smaller.
That man that lives across the road up yonder in Lawsonville.
Yeah, he did have a Dexter.
But I didn't see him up close, though.
I never did either. And I have seen a bunch of people, I mean, I may be the same person, asking, do I get much time off in the winter? I mean, really, it's if we have a pretty day, we work. If it's a nasty day, we don't work. We have enough work to keep us busy through the winter, but it's more or less depends on the weather this time of year. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. If it's 30 degrees and the wind blowing 100 mile an hour, this old boy ain't gonna be out there working in it. I'll be around the house doing something, but I'm not gonna be out there doing any type of landscaping work in it. Somebody said I just ordered my hat. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. The on our merchandise, we never see it. It comes from a lady in Tennessee that's what she does is make she handles the order, she handles the shipping,
she makes them
and she makes it. She makes every bit of it there, so it's like a small business that keeps her and her family rolling, and so that's kind of why we decided to support her.
Yeah.
And I think from the stuff we've seen so far, like she does a really good job.
Yeah.
Meagan, do you work away from home?
Yes, I'm a part-time nurse. I do home care. I've worked in hospitals, nursing homes. I'm the jack of all trades, master of none when it comes to nursing. I know a little about a lot. But home health has always been my passion as far as nursing goes. But I don't know. I just like the one-on-one time with the patients, but I'm just part-time now. I only work a day or two a week. And I'm not going to lie, YouTube was blessed of me to do that because at one time I was working 3 part-time jobs. Now I'm down to pretty much 1. And I can't thank y'all enough for that, to be here with my kids.
We got Colin here. Give us a super chat.
Thank you so much. It's Colin.
Like I said, Colin. Yeah. I'm sorry. He said, is there any bears in our area and do we hunt them? So, yes, there is bear here. It used to not be, but they've started. I don't know if they introduced them or if they've migrated here or what they've done.
There's a lot of road work going on
up the mountain
20 miles from here I wonder if it didn't push them down the mountain.
I'm going to say it did. But there is a bear season here, but we've never actually hunted bear.
No, we see them cross the road and stuff, but they ain't never bothered nothing. Jamie and Tina, thank you so much. So we love the live chat. Thank you so much.
This one's come across a couple of times already. What pushed us towards homeschooling? Well, Meagan was trying to talk me into it for a while, and I was somewhat against it for a little while. And I'll tell you what tripped it for me was when they were out of school one day for snow, and they had a work day, where they could do their work at home. So when I come in from work that day, both kids were in here on a computer doing something.
Maggie wasn't in school.
That's right. It was Jacob was in here on a computer. Yeah, it wasn't both kids. I don't know what I'm thinking. But Jacob was in here on a computer, and I was like, what are you doing on that computer? I thought you were supposed to be doing your schoolwork. And he said, I am doing my schoolwork. And so I looked, and there was like this funny-looking game thing that he was playing on the computer. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, this is my schoolwork. And I said, so is this what you're doing just because y'all are out of school? And he was like, no. He said, this is what we do every day. And I was like, the computer teaches you I was like, what is your teacher doing? And he said, nothing. I mean, I don't know whether he was telling me the truth or not, but that's what he said. And at that point, I was like, okay, if they're letting computers teach our kids, like, we need to do something about that. Because I'm a strong believer that, I mean, I don't think kids need to be on computers or laptops or playing video games or anything like that.
Time.
Not all the time. I mean, I don't think they should be staring at a computer all the time. And that's when we decided to do it.
Yep.
And I have to say that it was probably the best decision we ever made, because Jacob's attitude after that was like,
he was a different kid.
He was a different kid after that.
Yep, in a good way. And you know, they still have a lot of friends. They're very close with their cousins because we all kind of live right here together. You know, I know a lot of people worry about that, but how much can you really get socialized in school if all you do is stare at a computer anyway? So,
well, listen,
I'm not trying to be ugly.
I think,
and it's not like that everywhere. And it wasn't just that for me. It was a
lot for you, but that was the tipping point for me.
The politics in the school system and stuff that the kids get caught in the middle of. And it's probably not like that everywhere, but that was another thing that I didn't care for my child to be caught in the middle of. And I was blessed enough to be able to take all those part-time jobs. Now I do recognize that I was blessed enough, and I took those part-time jobs so I could work my schedule around and be able to homeschool, because I know everybody can't do that either. So I really feel blessed that we are able to homeschool.
And I think that they're more sociable with people now than what Jacob was when he was in school.
Right.
Like, he can carry on a conversation with an adult just like an adult can carry on a conversation with an adult. Like, I mean, he can just talk with anybody.
The youngin loves to talk.
He does. I've seen one that's done come across a couple times too, asking if we ever would become full-time YouTubers. And I don't know if we would ever be like full-time YouTubers, because I really enjoy the type of work that I do for a living, and it would be hard to just give it up.
Well, see, that's kind of the way I am too. Like, I love my home health patients that I see because you get attached to them.
Yep. And that's it too. I enjoy working for the people I work for.
Yeah.
Lots of my customers have been customers for mine for years, and they're more or less like family now than a customer. And so it would be tough to completely quit. But, I mean, it is a dream. I mean, my goodness, to get to
even have the choice to do that.
Yeah, to have the choice to do that. I mean, it's nice, but all right, here's one that's right for me. How many miles on the old red Ford? It's got 212,000, maybe.
Your dually?
Yeah. It's 200, and it's in the low 200s. I can't remember off the top of my head. Now we got a ton of homeschooling comments come in.
Do y'all ever let hens hatch their eggs?
And if not, how do you break them from being broody? Most of the time, we just let them do it.
Yeah, but if I don't want one to sit for some reason, I'll be honest with you, I just
literally pick them up off the nest
every day until they decide that they don't want to do that anymore.
Yep.
I know there are other ways, but that's just what we just pick them up and like, no, you're not going to sit here today, Funny story though, if y'all haven't been around since the spring, Maggie's job is usually taking care of the chickens. And when they were in that big giant house, when we had all those chickens, because at one time we had like 50, 60, 70.
It was about 75 chickens we had at one time.
And so Maggie would take care of them. And of course I would go like fill up their water. Maggie would check their food. Like, she did a great job. Well, one day she hollered for me. She said, Mama, come here and look. I went in there and I peeked over in that laying box. I said, Maggie, how long has that chicken been sitting there? And there was two little weedy heads popped out from under that mama. And I had no idea that she was sitting, and Maggie, I said, how long has she been sitting there? She said, well, Mama, she didn't want to get up. I said, well, I guess not. That's my 2 roosters that I have running around outside now.
Free.
Yeah.
Oh, me. Somebody asked if we got our Mad Hatter seeds from Holson.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's where they came from.
Yeah, I'm about 100% sure that's where they come from. This is the second year we grew them. We grew them last year, too.
No, this was our first year.
Well, we grew them last year. Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just been a really long summer.
It must have been for you.
I thought we grew them last year,
too. No, this was our first year.
What can make lard go rancid? I have 7 quarts that went bad. There's a couple of things. Moisture is a big one. If there was moisture left in the jar or anything, that can make it go rancid. Or if all the moisture wasn't cooked out of it before you put it in the jar, like you didn't let your cracklings turn a little bit brown before you put it in the jar, not filtering it really well can make it go rancid sometimes too. And those are the 2 biggest reasons, but sometimes it just happens.
Yep.
That's another thing. Sometimes it just happens, unfortunately. And I know it's heartbreaking because it's a lot of work. Tracy, thank you so much. Thank you. Do you put leaves or hay on Berry Hill?
We have, most of the time, the only mulch we've used so far on that was wood chips. But I mean, if I had an excess of leaves, I would probably use that too. I've never used no hay on it, but I mean, it would work. But most of the time, we just use some old chips. Decayed wood chips for mulch, and just put them down as thick as we can.
And somebody's asking, do we do bees, or are we going to do bees?
We had some at one time.
Well, they weren't ours.
Well, they weren't ours, but they might have well.
A bear got into them,
and a bear tore that hive up.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, we've contemplated, but to my understanding, I think, especially if you don't know anything about bees, they can be a lot of work. And I don't know. I don't feel like we've talked about it before that we have necessarily the time to devote to bees.
And
right now.
Right now in our area, fresh honey is fairly easy to find.
Yeah.
And so if it got to the point to where you couldn't get honey anywhere, we might consider it, but that's just one of those things that we ain't necessarily, you got to devote time to it, and we ain't really got the time to devote to it. And so that's one of those things that other people, we depend on other people for. And we usually work out a trade or something like that with somebody to get some honey. And
yeah. You don't ever feel like you have to do it all.
That was one of our biggest mistakes ever, was thinking we had to do everything.
Yep. Don't ever think you got to do it all.
You will burn yourself out in a hurry thinking you've got to do it all.
Yep.
Well, we've been over here just a little over an hour.
Yep. Yeah, y'all, I guess we're going to about call it a night. Time to get in the bed and start all over again tomorrow. There'll be a new video coming out tomorrow of what we were doing today.
At some point tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be out some point tomorrow, so y'all just be on the lookout for that. And a reminder, too, is probably for the month of December, instead of Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday videos, it's probably going to be 2 videos a week. And hopefully we can get back to 3 videos a week after the first of the year anyway.
Yep.
So, but guys, it has been so fun.
I can't believe the crowd that's been in here tonight.
Yeah,
y'all. This is the most we've ever had on a live.
Y'all just really bless our hearts, and all the kind words, the gifts, the cards we get in the mail, letters we get in the mail. Y'all, I keep them all. The kind words y'all put on here tonight, y'all just don't know. About brings tears to my eyes. Y'all know how much it means to us. Because we're just 2 regular old people out here doing our regular old thing.
That's it. It's amazing somebody'd even want to watch us.
But we just appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope y'all have a really good night. And till we see y'all on the next one.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.